We're good. Okay. Scooter, what are you doing?
I think I got it.
Did you
I'm
get
cleaning out lens, dog. Welcome to another Tech Tuesday. We are talking. What are we doing?
We're talking about lens cleaning today, which is, I know this sounds super lame, but it's actually
It is not lame. Honestly, there's nothing that makes me more mad than showing up to set and seeing an AC clean a lens wrong, or somebody who's just starting out and you see them at a concert cleaning their lens and you're like, don't grab your sweatshirt and rub it on your lens. But
or do if that's what you got. I don't know.
Just don't do that. All right, guys, so we're gonna dive into the different ways to clean a lens, some of the things you may run into while cleaning your lens, and some things to look for, probably some do's and don'ts. And what are you doing?
Just,
playing with all the little toys.
Yeah.
So as you're getting into it, first you'll probably see.
Hang on, so that'll be like and then intro.
Okay. All right, so Kim wipe.
What is a Kim wipe?
Kim wipes are a special kind of tissue. You know when you blow your nose in like the really soft tissues and you get all the like white fuzzies around? You don't want to use
toilet paper.
Like toilet paper. You don't want to use toilet paper on a lens, like the good stuff. Kim wipes actually leave no residue. So if you pop that out, I mean, there's like a little dust, but that's nothing that's going to affect your camera lens. That's the idea behind these guys, is they're not going to leave a trace of like little fibers and such on your lens.
Like you would get from a Kleenex or toilet paper.
Yeah. So Kim wipes are like the most well-known thing that you would clean a lens with.
You know why that is?
I don't actually.
So Kim wipes are actually, what am I trying to say? They're like a scientific cleaning tool. So
I
like
didn't know that, yeah.
If you went into like a lab, and with microscopes and all that stuff, there's actually Kim wipes all over the place because it is like a technical like cleaning tool that we use for like high-end optics.
Yeah. You'll see a lot of the times like in glass stores and different things, they'll have these types of fibers. It just is better for residue. And then another thing you'll run into are like microfibers. This is one of many different types. These are pretty common. You like see these at every grocery store, like in the little clean your sunglasses type little pouches
section.
And stuff. And then there's some other things you'll see like tissue, lens tissue like this, which is very similar to Kim Tech tissue.
Yep.
But to me, it has more of like a...
it's more gritty.
Yeah, like almost like a fiber, less like a cloth and more like a sweatshirt or t-shirt material.
Yeah, it doesn't absorb the water. And I've noticed that if you're using Pinkro, which is like alcohol, to clean the lens, like the Roscoe stuff doesn't really like absorb the alcohol, and then it kind of just like pushes it around as you wait for, which maybe that's a good thing. I don't know. I don't really like it though. It's not my favorite either.
I mean, different things for different people. Maybe I like these in different scenarios to keep like in a chest pack or in a pocket. You can just quickly like throw some in and you're good for that day. Run and gun stuff or like little go kits. Sometimes you don't want to put a big box in your kit. That's why these are good as well. And then
these two.
As far as fabrics go, I would say like that's kind of the most I would recommend, or at least like the most standard.
So there's two other things. So oftentimes if you're running a pouch like these and you put a filter in, they'll often have a microfiber inside of the pouch. That's like a thing that companies are starting to do nowadays. And then another thing which we don't have.
And another thing with these is you can actually, with the microfiber being inside the pouch, it's totally fine to take your filter, put it in there, and rub your hands back and forth real quick. And it kind of gives you a quick clean. So if your AC's passing it off, throw it in camera. I really like pouches like these. I think it's good to invest in your own as an AC, and you can transfer your filters into your pouch as well.
And then there's another thing that we don't have here on the table because I couldn't find one in my stuff, but we often use like chamois, like the leather chamois as well, kind of like what you use to dry your car off with, similar material. But we use that in like super humid environments. I was shooting a golf tournament in Hawaii, and the technical director for that show like gave us all leather chamois to clean our lenses off with because it's Hawaii. It rains every single day. It's also super humid all the time, and so just be able to like reach over with that leather chamois to absorb the water on the end of the lens is also super helpful.
Yeah, I think a few things to consider as you're building out your tissue kit would be what environment you're in and what you need to control. If that's a lot of rain, water, or like evaporation moisture, you're going to want something a little bit more like absorbent. Yeah. And then if you're more focused on like cleaning, a lot of the times you can get away with more like air and things like that. It's always good to have tissue on you, but a lot of the times I'm just doing a quick puff right into the lens, or you got your canned air, which is like the funnest stuff on set. I can't tell you how many times we're like flipping this over and spraying it around. Just kidding, don't do that.
So there is a caution though too, if you don't know this about canned air. You put your top on here, whatever. They have some that come with tops, or you can use your own like metal top that you screw on here.
Industry standard are these with a top that screws onto it though.
Yeah. But like the compressed, the liquid air, that the air that's liquidized inside of here, if you flip it over, it actually come out and it's really cold. But what also happens is when you put the lid on, if it's been sitting around in a bag and it's been like shooken up, shaken, not stirred, all the above, it'll actually like shoot out some of that liquid air that's inside of there. And if you do that on a lens, or if you do that on...
Do you remember the movie we were on in the middle of the lake at night?
Yes.
There was so Charles and I were on a night shoot, and there was a spider this big, and I'm sitting in my AC gear and I'm getting a fresh can, and it cracked at an angle, and like on the nozzle, and so all of a sudden air just started shooting out, and Charles was like, grab the can, and I like ran over, and he's like, put it on the spider, and we like flipped it around, and it was a fun experience. It's like putting salt on snails.
Freezing. They freeze. It's really funny. Anyways, you have to be careful because you will crack the lens, or you can like break or damage the camera if you're not careful. So the practice is with canned air is you do a couple of shots at yourself or just into the air to make sure that it's cleaned or clear, and then go and squirt.
Yeah, I think that's good practice anywhere with anything on a lens. If you're going to puff a lens or anything, give it a puff away, because you never know as it's sitting there if you've built up some dust or something in there, and the last thing you want to do is shoot that right at the lens.
Cool. So why don't we grab one of these lenses and then go ahead and show us the proper way to clean the front element.
Yeah, so a few things you want to avoid would be not starting out on the outside. You want to go inside out. So when I say that, I'll kind of give you an example here. Will you hold that lens? Yep. A lot of the people...
It's actually really dirty.
It is really dirty. A lot of people ask, hey, should I spray the paint grow directly on the lens? It won't hurt the lens, but the lenses aren't fully waterproof. They are like water resistant. So last thing you want to do is like get a bunch of liquid right on the lens. So I think it just goes without saying that you would just spray it on your towel first. But have I been in a quick scenario where I've had to just shoot a few sprays at the front of the camera and give it a quick wipe down? Yes. And then you want to start in the middle. I kind of bunch it up just a little bit. I think if you're wiping super flat, it doesn't pick up any of the dust as good. So I kind of just bunch it up just a little bit, and then I start in the middle, and then I just quick circles, and I just work my way out.
So concentric circles. So you start really small when you're in the middle of the lens, and then you work your way bigger as you go out.
Yep, and those quick circles will help like dry, won't leave streaks. It really like picks up all the dust. And then one thing I really like to do, just for the sake of it, is I always go around the edge as I do that and just get right in there and see how much we just picked up right there on that second pass. Just helps your lenses stay in better condition.
You do the same thing for the rear element as well, yeah?
Yeah, same exact thing, and we'll just do that while we're here so everyone can see it and feels comfortable. Do you mind holding that again?
Got it.
And don't be afraid, guys, when you're cleaning your lenses, have your second AC hold the lens and really take your time. A lot of the times I'll have them hold the lens and put a flashlight on it so you can really see everything that's going on.
And here's the thing too, as while we're here, is you can see there's like gunk buildup on the PL mount as well. And that's often sometimes when you're like trying to put the lens in the PL mount, it'll get like sticky. And so it doesn't hurt like to make sure that your camera assistants are wiping down those elements and keeping them clean as well, because they will stick and make it harder for your first AC to install it into the camera.
So I actually have a point for that that we're going to talk about here, and we'll get right into it now. One thing I like to do is they make these cotton swabs that are really absorbent. The biggest thing you need to be careful with on a pack like this is these are specific for electronics, for camera sensors, for like internals of things that you're going to be using. Do not use like your household Q-tips. Those leave residue just like your household like tissue paper. So just make sure you get something specific. I like these because they come in a bunch of different sizes and they're pretty cheap.
That's cool.
But the idea with these and the different sizes is whether you're cleaning the inside of a sensor, your PL mounts, and I mean, all the different mounts that are out there now.
Yeah, I mean, we have Micro Four Thirds, we got Canon EF, we have old school AE over here. Like, it doesn't matter what you're using.
And so what I'm getting at with the different sizes is that gap here between the two is going to be much smaller than that gap here.
Right.
So having a smaller, more like detailed Q-tip to get in between that is going to just make your life easier cleaning the lens. And then same exact thing as the Kimtex, you just give it a few sprays. And then this one may be a little big. I probably would have dropped down maybe one more size. And then I like to just go right around that PL mount on the top and bottom, kind of get in it everywhere. And now that I'm looking at it, I probably should have gone one more Q-tip smaller, but it's totally fine. Just get in all those details.
And it makes a difference to like keep your lens clean, make sure they're not sticking inside the mounts as you go in and out. It mostly applies, for me at least, what I've noticed is it mostly applies to like the PL mounts or LPL mount style lenses versus like an EF or like the kinds that you put in and rotate and they lock. But you can see how much dirt and crap came off.
I was like, I don't know if you can see that pretty well. I'll kind of give you a little backdrop. I don't know if that shows up on camera, but quite a bit of dirt is coming off of this lens and it looked decently clean.
Yeah, I mean, this is our workhorse lens.
But yeah, we're working this stuff a lot. Now, can you clean like a filter inside of a matte box? If you're popping off your matte box, you're like, oh shoot, we have fingerprints on there. What can we do? 100%. You don't even need to pop the filter out. What I like to do is just leave the filter in, give it a few sprays, start from the middle, work your way out, same as a lens. Don't overthink it. Don't completely take everything off the camera. A lot of the times you're gonna realize it when you're shooting and when you need it. Which is why I think it's super important for a chest pack or a little kit with you. And that's why I like this stuff, guys. Grab one or two of these, grab one of these. And then a little tool that I like to keep on me is a little brush.
It's for your makeup, right?
Yeah, do your face with. But this is literally meant for camera sensors. So if you're in a quick scenario, guys, having a little kit like this will save your day. Yeah. And to have that all with you right here and quickly do it will just avoid any timely mistakes that could happen.
Yeah. So. Cool. Anything else we missed?
Oh, the only other thing that I have here that we forgot to talk about would be a grease pen and why you should carry something like some ISO wipes with you. A lot of people would be like, you know, grease pen, like you're going to mark up your lens. Yes, you can use these on your lenses. They are meant to go right along the metal. Bro. You'll make a line. Charles was like, why are you doing that? The reason for that is if you're pulling focus, you can line that up and know exactly where you are. Now.
So it's called a grease pen for the purpose of the fact that it is kind of greasy when it goes on there. And if you just try to wipe it off, it smears. And so that's why you need the isopropyl alcohol to help clean it off the rest of the way.
And I like the wipes because paint grow can kind of sometimes get messy, and when you're doing the grease pens, you kind of need like a thicker amount of what, Charles?
Just the squeaks.
You kind of need like more, and last thing you want to do is like be like spraying a bunch of paint grow on your lens. So good as new.
It's also good practice not to spray stuff out of the lens.
True. Very true. And I think the last little tip I would say is if hair and makeup is spraying around the lens, cover the lens, let everyone know to not spray things around your lenses. A lot of the time, you know, something really good will happen on set and the shot will be ruined because there is a water droplet or a little weird flare or mark, and that's because you didn't clean it properly.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys learned something from this Tech Tuesday. Please like and subscribe so we can keep this content coming to you guys, and we'll see you on the next one. That was great. Go away.